Okay, I'm Gary Coatney, and this is part of my PP Guru blog, accompanying video. It's a video that accompanies the text that I wrote. Um, Mainly just credits, what the book is, who publishes it, and just like a little sentence or two about what it contains. Um, Free Comic Book Day, I've been doing for the whole caboodle for I told maybe for going on 10 years now. I've been reading every book that's put out by the various publishers and companies. Um, Sometimes they've at one time they were like 50 something books. Now it's been whittled down to 45 or so. Um, Free Comic Book Day is sort of working in the industry, television, movies, music, whatever I've been doing for the past 20 years or so. I kind of look like Free Comic Book Day as the industry's, um, what would you call upfronts? There's a thing that all the television stations, cable stations, and now the streamers do every May. They they go to New York and they talk about what they're going to be releasing for next fall. In the comic book industry's case, it's sort of like what's going to be happening the next summer, the fall, and vice versa. And every company gets involved. They throw a sample out, like a pilot episode of what they want to showcase. And I feel this day has become as sort of metamorphosed into that type thing. I know it's a place to help local comic book shops draw in business, and sort of that's why they coincide the first of May, usually because Marvel or DC will put a big monster movie, uh, making box office records and such. And this year is no exception with Thunderbolts, which is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful movie in the Marvel canon. I really enjoyed it. I recommend you go see it, and I want to see it again next week. At my employer has to be showing it. So anyway, so I read and gone over the first 8 books in the pile out of the 8 of the 45. I was supposed to do 9, but one book is showing up late, and I'll be scheduling that for tomorrow. So next week I'll review 10 books instead of 9. So the first book out of the pile is a DC's comics um, Superman series that's going to be written by Dan Slott, who's who was a popular Spider-Man artist at one time. He switched brains with Doctor Octopus. Peter Parker and Doctor Octopus switched brains, and a lot of hijinks ensued between that. But the one thing about this one DC book is they only have 3 titles this Free Comic Book Day celebration. They usually have like 4 or 5, but they kind of whittled it down to 3. But secretly it's 1 and 2 books. It's 2 books in one because you flip it over, you get Baba Dada. Um, it's a absolute universe type of thing. Uh, but there are a bunch of books in my comic book reading pile that I haven't gotten to yet, so I have not read any of these yet. I know Batman's up in the queue. Absolute Batman is up in the queue. Absolute Wonder Woman's up in the queue. Absolute Superman is up in the queue. And try saying that 3 times fast. I haven't read any of them. I skipped out on the Flash, Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter. Like I whittled down on the universe line in Marvel. I whittled down X-Men. I mean it's a beautiful looking book, but I can't read it. It's some of it's impossible to follow. But anyway, the first half of the book is Superman's story with by Dan Slott, and it's just basically he sort of previews what he's going to be doing with Superman. Um, he's probably bringing some new characters in, and it's just a day in the life of Superman. With the movie coming out, I think what these series is that he's got coming out called Superman Unlimited. It's gonna sort of like maybe more like the movie Superman rather than the regular Superman. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that's the flip side of the book. As you know, there's they also with Free Comic Book Days also promotes the summer events coming up, and they always got a weird ad or some ads or two. This is the big crossover event they got coming out with the World's Finest and Justice League, two titles that Mark Waid happens to be writing. Now, I kind of gave up on Batman Superman World's Finest. I just tossed it aside and I switched to Justice League instead. But I guess I'm going to have to buy both titles now, right? I'm trying to cut back on these books. I live by myself now in an apartment, and I don't have a roommate to rely on. And well, the book ends on a little sort of a little recap of what goes on in the DC universe. The artwork by Raphael Albuquerque is exceptional. I like it. I'll probably be buying it. Flip it over and you get a little Gotham City behind the scenes absolute universe. Starts off. It's a little vignette of all what the heroes are doing in the current books. The artwork is gorgeous, and that ends, and it ends with a surprise villain who's gonna, I guess, is gonna be causing a lot of crap going on the summer, and you get a recap of the absolute universe. So, yeah, a good book from DC. Next one, Amazing Spider-Man and the Ultimate Universe is it's another book divided in half. First story is Amazing Spider-Man story, written by Joe Kelly, who's now the new writer on Amazing Spider-Man. Well, he's been the writer for a while, but after the other guy Chip something, can't pronounce his last name. I guess he ran his course with a big Punch-Out fight between him, Spidey, and Tombstone. Anyway, that they close the chapter on that, and now as something new begins, and this is sort of a story that complements the first issue, and I like Joe Kelly. He fights this villain called Kabuki. I guess it's been around for a while, but John Romita Jr. Pencils never looked more lively, you know. And I like this first story. It's got some Joe Kelly has got some good comedy bits going on with Peter Parker, and some good quips in there. Second story is going to be a preview of a new Ultimate line miniseries, and that's going to be called Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, and there's a little preview of what's to come in it, and this panel there. I guess I'll be reading it. And there's a nice thing here, it's an uncredited story of all the spider characters coming together for a big summer event. And I'll be only reading Spider-Man. I don't read the Venom and Carnage one, so they are not for me. Um, a little ad here with the new pocket editions. You can probably one thing I don't understand. I don't know why gamers have to be included in this thing. What's a gamer going to do? Gamer goes online to play games. He doesn't go online. Well, I guess you can read the comics as sort of research while you're playing games and stuff. But I'd be mean to pick up some of these, especially the Daredevil one and this Captain America collected. Oh well, the Fantastic Four by John Hickman. That was a series I read even when I wasn't reading comic books on a regular basis. I think like Fantastic Four is the only title. Here's a little editorial of the editors getting together and concocting their ideals and stuff. But hey, and there's the cover to Amazing Spider-Man #1 that's out in stores now. I got #2. I picked up #2 the other day. So yeah, I was fine with that. I think me and Joe Kelly's writing style are going to get along real well. Okay, so next up is Archie's Comic Spectacular, and unlike the other Archie books that were out before, they really focused on Sabrina and some like horror titles that they were trying to do with the Archie character. Anyway, this is like a back to basic type of thing. It's got some good stories in there, some fun stories. There's a parody on Indiana Jones, and the Burger of Destiny. Jughead Jones is searching for that golden chalice or the golden burger of all times. There's a little parody on Deadpool that didn't really strike a chord with me. To each their own, of course. There's a throw out to the Barbie movie from last couple summers ago. The only movie that saved the movie industry from that 2 years ago when everybody was out on strike. And that and Oppenheimer. This character I'm not familiar with, Dr. Masters, an influencer, social media influencer. He's relatively new, never heard of him, but he appears in a couple stories in here. And we got Sabrina Spellman. I love the Netflix series, but I can't stand that old 80s series. And I've been complaining online lately, why does this series keep popping up in Paramount Plus's top 10 streaming list? The old 80s series. Not a big fan of it. And one last story with Dr. Masters. Yeah. Anyway, that was I thought this was pretty fun. The kids will love it. I think the kids get started reading comics. They should start with Archie's. My half sister out in New Jersey, she read a bunch of Archies, and I have them in my back room, in fact, but they're too old and ratty to drag out. So no, the other book is Bad Kitty. This is I guess based on a children's graphic novel series. This is strictly made for kids. Has a nice framing sequence to it. I kind of love the framing sequence better than I love the story of the main character itself. I thought there was some funny lines like Swamp Thing the musical, and it parodies there's some good parodies of the comic books industry in itself in here. Free Comic Book Day. They make fun of the whole concept, and of course they describe the cover as infinity cover. Yeah. So, but the character itself, Kitty, Bad Kitty, wasn't overwhelmed. Well, I don't know if it's a cheap knockoff Sylvester or what, but. But I guess this cat, this Sylvester knockoff, she likes to play video games, and I guess that's where the line is drawn. And the book is nice and glossy. I think kids will love this. I hope you, if you picked up some books, you brought your children in and they selected this book, and the kids will have a lot of fun with it. And at the end of here, you can learn how to draw the main character and through some 10 easy steps. Interesting note: you see a Q scan code. Please scan it. This one offers, if you scan the QC code, you enter a contest and you can win the entire graphic novel series. I thought that was interesting. Welcome back, old friend. Best of 2000 AD. This certain title was missing in action from last year. I'm glad it's back. These are more of a reprint type of thing. There's these days, Judge the 2000 AD line is being published in these thick volumes, and I've never seen one of them at all on the shelves. If anyone can point me towards, I'd like to sample one. Apparently it has there's an ad in the back. I guess you can order some, but you ever seen any in the stores? Let me know. This one's there's a, I guess Jock is like the big famous Judge Dredd story artist. I liked Al Ewing's stories. I guess he wrote the few ones that were the news stories that were featured in these previous Free Comic Day editions, and but he's got his own niche audience, so to speak, and for other characters, you have Rogue Trooper, who is recently been done as an animated movie. I was doing some research on this. I thought it was supposed to be a live action movie that was supposed to premiere on Amazon, but it's been done as an animated movie. And after you're done reading this tale, you can go in the stores and stock up on the trade paperbacks, which the first one just came out last month. Number 2, Volume 2 is due in January of 2025. Volume 3 in September 2025. Volume 4 in a year from there. This was interesting. This is a retelling of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, and there's a little backstory, and this is certain series called Scarlet Traces is supposed to take place 10 years after the invasion, and apparently the Martians left their technology behind, and the Earthlings are picking up the slack. And I thought this is a great premise. So, and you can see the books are collected there. Last story is a Judge Dredd related character, Anders PSI Anderson. I think that's what her name is. Anyway, and she adorns the cover along with Judge Dredd. But it was interesting, and you can collect those stories. Anyway, good read there, especially that third story. Here's an interesting one. It's just Black Mirror adaptation of a famous episode. There's this guy who's starting this line called Twisted Comics, is adapting popular Black Mirror episodes into graphic novel form, and the first one he decided to pick was San Junipero, and I forget who was in this episode. Watching the current season now. Didn't like the last episode I watched with Peter Capaldi, but I did like the other three. And this is interesting. You could probably teach yourself something in graphic novel class or whatever. But this is an unfinished book. This is some unfinished work you can look at. And as he says, this is a sample with some finished inks and some roughs, so you can see how he made it. The final will be in full color. So it's a little like a lesson here. You have some finished pages. First half is some finished pages, and you get into and slowly it turns to be uninked. Some inks are missing. As you see, some inks are missing in this page, and it gets in some roughs. Some layouts are here. It's a lesson in how to make a comic book. This is great. I mean, I think this is one of the best books released this year, and it gets to the point where it's the dialogue is put in. So let everybody you see it's rough. It gets to be rough pencils, and I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I put out a comic book like this reluctantly. I did that with one of my Deposit Man comic books. He couldn't finish the book in time for Comic-Con, so we just had to put rough pencils in and stuff and explain that it was all part of the story. The creme of the creme of Free Comic Book Day is absolutely this book. If you have not sampled any of these newly EC Comics, now an imprint of Ani Press, they are phenomenal. I love them, and they reprint two great stories. One from Tales from the Epitaph, I'm sorry, Epitaph from the Abyss, and another one from Cruel Universe. These were comics released last year, and they print some great tales. And this one is been revealed in this special edition that this is getting is its own miniseries called Blood Type, which was brilliant. But the second story is, I think, absolutely one of my favorite comic book stories from last year, 2024, and it's called The Champion, and it's like a John Carter throwback. Arena fighting monsters and warriors and monsters, but there's a twist at the end. The story is not who you think is narrating it, and I thought this was just brilliant, positively brilliant. And the last story in here is from the current series, which I have in my queue. It's a 4-issue series. It's called Cruel Kingdom. It's more like sword and sorcery, medieval tales, and stuff like that. And I thought this was pretty good too. Nice twist in the end of when your lawn gnome goes berserk. This is the tale you wanna go by. Yeah, I love it. And there's they revealed that it's gonna be another tales come another series of Cruel Kingdom. Cruel Universe is coming back this summer with a brand new tale called Catacomb of Torment. And I believe these are the new hosts that are going to be featured in these new series coming out. Anyway, this was worth picking up. All right, so the last tale we get to is Boom Studios 20th anniversary. It's nothing more than a few samples from previous printed stuff like Berserker, and there's a name you don't see in comic books too often is Keanu Reeves, teamed up with Matt Kint, who also wrote that story I loved a lot in the EC Comics. Previous pages of Irredeemable by Mark Waid and Peter Krause. Well, I was surprised was Peter Krause's work there. I know Peter Krause did superhero work. I know him from like underground books like The System and what the other one, The Jam or something. I don't know. But there's also Legally Star by writer Ram V, who's known for writing Hellblazer and Detective Comics. Oh, Mouse Guard, where have you been? Mouse Guard did some nice free comic book day hardcover books. I mean, they were beautiful. And I don't know if the story in there is new or old. And there's another thing called Hello Darkness, written by Teeny Howard, who's known for writing a lot of DC Batgirl and Birds of Prey stuff. Um, it's a, it does what a job. It just gives you a little appetite for the big graphic novel books that are out by them by now. So I was supposed to review another book called Champion. It's out from 10 Speed Press. I believe it's the story of a basketball player. Anyway, I'll find out next week when I get done reading the next 10. So that's the first 8 books in the pile. So see you next week. Bye.